I'll give you one guess what I'm about to talk about. I bet you'll never guess. What's up, everybody? It's Buff, or in this case, Jade, which, hi, if you didn't know my name's Jade. Did you know that? I don't know if you knew that. Long time no speak. Long time since I've hollered at you straight, face to face. Long time since we've had a tete-a-tete, as they say. It's been a while, essentially. It's been a while. If you've been a fan of this channel for a while, and I'm talking like a while. I'm talking like back in 2017, 2018, something along those lines, you know that I started a series called Wednesdays with Jade. Yes, it was Wednesdays with Jade, my government name. Then, a little bit later, I changed it to Wednesdays with Boff, which actually still does exist on the channel. It is a little video about how I met Jazz. Here's a screenshot, maybe? Essentially what it was is just like a video where I sit here and I talk about a topic. It's like I have a podcast, but you look at my face, you know, which is kind of just what a YouTube video is summed up. But I have been thinking about the fact that it's 2026. Happy New Year, by the way. Face to face, from face to face Jade. Harking back to the first one that I did way back. It was about college. It was a Wednesdays with Jade, which was basically just me sitting there for like 10 minutes talking about crazy things that happened to me when I was in college. When I was in college, as in when I was still in college, as in I filmed it in my dormitory. And because it is 2026, happy fucking New Year from my face. I thought it would be fun to actually dive back into my roots a little bit, considering the fact that I started this YouTube channel in 2016, which was in fact 10 years ago, a decade ago. I started it when I graduated high school. Either way, not the point, but a little bit the point. In light of a little bit of a rebrand that I'm doing with this channel right now, I wanted to bring back an old series, and a series that I really always wanted to stay very dedicated to, but just kind of never got around to it. And not even that I didn't get around to it, I just got insecure in the fact that I just was like, I don't think anyone wants to sit and listen to me yap at them for however long the video is. That sounds boring. And yet, like, over the course of time, you guys told me over and over again, like, no, we like it, Jade, we like it, keep it up, keep going. And meanwhile, I'm over here like, no, nobody likes me, they hate it, they hate me. Hi, I'm back. Hi, I'm back, and I'm giving it my best shot this time. And the reason that I'm doing that is because, like I said, I'm trying to I'm trying to rebrand the channel a little bit, and not in a sense that I want to like drive myself away from cosplay or that community, but more so just that I want to explore other things and have other things accessible on my channel as well. Because of all that, because of that entire lengthy fucking intro. I'm so sorry, Jade, who's editing this in the future. That intro aside, I wanted to dive in with the first Wednesdays with Jade back in the series. The Wednesdays with Jade that brings it all back around. And because it's the Wednesdays with Jade that brings it all back around, I am going to do a little homage to my roots, which was me sitting in my college dorm talking about things that happen in college. But instead, this one is gonna be about the fact that I graduated college. Let's go. I graduated college. Now, I did graduate last year, and if you follow me on my Instagram or my TikTok or whatever, you probably noticed that I posted about it. I did, in fact, graduate last year, 2025, May of 2025. And I thought, what better than to talk about college and that experience as a little Wednesdays with Jade back in the swing of things. Ultimately, I don't know where you are now in your life. I hope you're doing fucking well. It's you've been with me for some time, and I appreciate you. But all that being said, in the span of time that I started this channel, and even in the span of time that I started this series, I graduated from college, and I graduated with my bachelor's in creative writing, which is very exciting for me. But ultimately, I'm gonna dive into the thick of it from the very, very, very beginning of things. I hope that, go grab a sippy, go grab a snack, just like grab something to do, because it's just me talking at you like a podcast, like I said. So grab something fun. Grab your little iPad, grab your little sketchbook, and do some little doodles. Do some doodles while I'm talking at you. Let's see, what should we draw? Can you draw me a, why is a cow coming to my head right now? A cow in a graduation hat? Can you draw me a cow in a graduation hat? If you're watching this and you listen to this full video and you need something to do, please draw me a cow in a graduation hat, please. And if you do, share it in the art gallery in my Discord, and I'll eat that up. Please draw me a cow in a graduation cap is all I want. Let's dive in. Let's dive in to the tale of my college experience. I graduated high school in 2016, and I graduated high school with a hard focus on art. In fact, I was in AP classes and this thing called Cambridge that we had. It was like the Cambridge classes in like Cambridge, like England, like British, which I was very, very proud of because my mom is British, and I was like, I'm taking British classes, let's go. But they were essentially like it was like an honors group, but the classes were called ACE, but because I was in those classes, I did a lot of extra artwork that was for like college credit. And that's basically what the synopsis was. I need to do another Wednesdays with Boff on my Wednesdays with Jade. I need to do another Wednesdays with Jade about my high school experience, because shit was different back then. Shit was wild. Regardless, I had some college credit, and I had just like my mindset so focused on art. And I loved all my art teachers. They were so lovely to me. And so I had this one track mind of like, I want to go into art and I want to do art things. And I want to major in art and make that my sole purpose going into college. Now, I dove immediately into college straight out of high school. I did not take a break. I had the summer, and then I said, let's dive the fuck in. And I honestly wish that I didn't, but for some reason I thought I was on like a very scary time limit. And in a way I kind of was, because I had a scholarship that was essentially for a 4-year degree, and little me didn't really know when that would have applied. I didn't know if I had to do it straight out of high school. I didn't know what I had to do, but I got a scholarship through that Cambridge program that I was doing in high school. That was the whole kind of purpose of being in those classes, was to get a scholarship. That was the whole thing with Cambridge. The whole purpose of Cambridge was that you took a bunch of classes to essentially get a scholarship, and you had to pass 4 out of however many classes you take. And then you get that scholarship, you get to go to college with the scholarship, and it's basically full ride, okay? For at least 4 years. So if you're doing more than that, sucks to suck, I guess. I guess that's basically what they're implying. Graduate high school, I dive right into college. I don't think about it at all. I don't even consider what I want to do. I don't sit for 2 seconds and be like, what am I gonna do if the economy completely crashes and our government is absolutely in shambles and everyone sucks? What occupation might I like to have in the future? Maybe I should know what occupation I want going forward, just in case the housing market sucks and the economy completely crashes and you can barely afford to buy milk at the grocery store. Maybe I should have a plan. No. 2016 was a different fucking time, bucko. 2016 was a different fucking time. And there was little me, and I said, all right, we're going to college, boys, and I'm gonna major in fucking art. And you know what I said? I'm gonna be going to college in Orlando, Florida. So you know what that means? I'm right next to Disney World. So you know what that means? I'm gonna major in computer animation so I can be an animator at Disney World. I wish I was joking. I wish I was kidding. But 18-year-old me was like, no, that's what I want. I want that. I want to be a little name that pops up on the credits of a Disney movie. To each their own. If that's your goal, hell yeah. Fucking pop the fuck off. But for me, no. I'm way too ADHD, way too fucking OCD. I have so many D's, including my tits. And all of those things don't work well in that situation, nor do they crave that situation. If I'm gonna work on an animation project, the way that my brain thinks is it's like, I want it to be mine. I want it to be my project, my story, my everything. I'm too much of a control freak. I'm too much of a bossy bitch to actually do a job like that. And also, I just didn't want to do it. And also, I just didn't actually want that, but I thought I did. I go to college, 2016, straight out the gate. It's fall, my fall semester. hey, just so you know, you're a freshman in college, which means you're gonna be rooming with someone. I have a roommate. I get a dorm. I move into my college dorm with my roommate. She is... That's all I'll say on that. What an experience. Truly, what an experience. My first semester of college. What an experience. And it wasn't bad at first. Like, I feel like I got like the what is it called? The taller straw. Like, I didn't get the short end of the stick straight out the gate. I feel like I actually got pretty lucky. But then it started getting a little bit worse in the fact that my roommate got a boyfriend, and then they wanted to hook up in the room every so often. And so I ended up feeling so goddamn awkward. So I'd get in my goddamn car and I would drive to McDonald's, and I would straight up sit in the McDonald's parking lot for like 3 hours eating my chicken McNuggets and watching Rhett and Link. I wish I was joking. Or so it would sometimes be Markiplier or Jack, obviously. I truly feel like I spent majority of my first semester and my second semester, to be honest. That first just like fall and spring of college, I feel like I spent in my car in the parking lot of various fast food restaurants. And a lot of that was because I was majorly depressed, which like still am. But truly, I have learned how to be an adult and how adulthood works in the span of like the breaks I took from college and in the span of like moving into my first apartment. But when I was there living on campus, I didn't know what I was doing. I was truly lost, like genuinely so lost. Was pretty miserable with my roommate, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to like shit on her, but like no one knows who she is, so it's all right. But like I had a rough time. Those first couple semesters living in a room, sharing a room with another girl, something I had never done before. I never was a summer camp girly. I never did anything like that. I did not share my space with anyone ever. And so this was such a new thing to me. These dorms were fucking tiny. We had a tiny ass little closet. We had a tiny little bed and a tiny little desk, and the space between the two of our beds and our desks in those first 2 semesters of college, while I'm diving into college with this mindset of yes, fuck yes, I'm gonna dive into college and I'm gonna just start doing all these animation classes, and it's gonna be so great, and I can't wait to learn how to animate because it must be so much easier than I actually think it is. Those first 2 semesters were fucking hell. And I never animated a goddamn thing. I had to take a 3D art class in which the professor was an absolute dick. And this was my first college art class, straight out the gate, my first experience. This professor took one of the girls that was working with me and threw her project in the trash because he said it was just shit. The same girl, after that experience, I remember hitting me up and saying, hey, can you do my art project for me? Because like, I'm going into art therapy, so I don't need to be good at art anyways. I went from being the nerd in high school who never did homework or was bullied into doing homework for anyone. I was bullied, yes, but I was never bullied for doing homework for anyone. And then I get to college, I was like, I thought we were more grown than this. Like, I thought we were in our big age. I thought it was big age time. Cut to me in my computer science class getting a 105 because I had 2 engineers in my group. But that was not, I didn't ask, okay? They literally looked at me, they said, you're an art major? I said, yeah. And they said, do you want us to do the group project? And I was like, yeah. And I ended up with 105. So listen, God, wherever you are, I hope you're the most successful engineers out there. I hope you're making so much goddamn money, truly. All that to say, shit was fucking hard. I was doing this horrible 3D art class, which I had never done. I had done like obviously a few like pottery type shit and like and a few 3D projects in high school, but like 3D art, not my fucking thing, guys. Not my fucking thing. I couldn't fucking do shit. It was so hard. 3D art is so fucking hard. And yet, I was going into 3D animation. That was my goal. I went into computer animation, which was at my school considered to be 3D animation. And the reason I went into it is because I was like, well, that's the new thing, right? Like, that's the new thing. I'm more likely to find a job in 3D animation than traditional animation because the new thing is 3D animation, because Disney's doing all these fancy things like Frozen and all that at the time, right? That's what I gotta do. That's where I gotta be. I was an idiot. I was stupid. those first 2 semesters from like 2016 to 2017, my first year of college, absolute fucking hell, brother. Absolute fucking hell. So much happened in the span of time that I was there. My parents were going through a divorce when I was there, a really bad one. My grandfather died, my childhood dog died, the one that I was driving 3 hours back and forth to see, and it was a traumatizing experience, the way that all of those things went down. Things that I'm still working through now, trying to work through now. All that to say, rough. But essentially, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know fucking jack shit about college. But I did all my general education classes. I did those 2 art classes at the beginning. It was like a 2D art class and a 3D art class. I ended up taking this one that was 6 hours long. It was a 6-hour art class. That shit was hard, but it was so fun actually. It was actually kind of fun. It was 1 day a week and it was 6 hours on Friday, and I kind of ended up loving it. And I think I met like the nicest people that I met over the course of my entire college experience in that class. I still follow them on Instagram. They were great. All that to say, I don't have any college friends. I went through a lot of years of college and didn't make any friends. So it's fine. I don't talk to anyone from high school. I don't talk to anyone from college. What's new? Kept working towards my art degree. And then I got to this realization of, hey, I don't think I actually want to do computer animation. I don't think this is the move for me. So I switched to traditional animation. I can't remember the actual name for it, but it was like a 2D version, okay? My brain said, no, I don't even want to do 3D. I don't like 3D. My dream since I was a child was to animate my wolf OCs that I created in high school and make a dramatic music video. That's all I wanted to do, guys. If we're being so fucking honest, it was not the credit scene of a Disney Pixar film. It was my own animated music videos with really cool looking wolves with sick hairdos. I just wanted to animate my persona. That's literally all I wanted to do the entire fucking time, but I couldn't be honest with myself. I switched my major and I started my focus in 2D animation. And after I finished most of my general education classes, math, sciences, things like that, I took astronomy, that was sick. All of those classes, once I got them all out of the way, things started to shift a little bit. I ended up joining the creative writing club, which actually at the end of the semester of that club, we got to all publish a poem or a short story in a book. And I got to design the cover, which I thought was really fucking sick. And we had like a whole little like reading and everything. And that was honestly one of my favorite things that I ever did in my college experience. That was the parallel of experiences to this other experience I had where I went to a oh god, it's a nightmare to think back to. But I went to this like slam poetry thing. It was basically like a room full of people and you just went up there and you read your poetry, and everyone was reading like raps about sex. And I went up there with my tragic gay love story poem. Oh, it was rough. Oh god. Oh, I get secondhand embarrassment when I think about it. Literally the sun's going down as I'm recording this, and that's a problem because I talk too much. Can I turn this light on? I talk too much. Mom, my light's not plugged in. Help. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit more light. That aside, let's put that aside. Let's put that away. Haven't animated by this point, by the way, because I had to take all of these art prerequisites. On the other plus side, I moved into an individual dorm. Basically what it was is I shared a bathroom with a roommate, but I got my own room with a door I could close and have privacy in. I shared a sink and a shower. Oh, and a toilet, obviously, with the other girl I was rooming with, which ended up being the same roommate from the first one because we were like, well, we might as well, because like, why would we risk getting paired with someone that like we don't like, right? I risked that. I still risk that. Ooh, I have stories, but I won't get into that either because that's not the point here. That's not the point here. I can get into my college horror stories another time, like when my license plate got stolen off my car. By this time also, by the way, I'm dating Jazz. Can I get some applause? I was dating Jazz at this time. And she did get to check out my dorm when I had my little single dorm. She did get to see that, and she stayed there a couple days with me, and it was very, very, very nice. After a bit, by this point, I'm starting to get out of just general education classes, and I'm starting to take more of the actual classes that I need to take towards my major, which meant I was taking Drawing 1 and Drawing 2 and those sort of classes, which were essentially the typical like things that high school tries to set you up for, right? Where there's a still life in the center of the room and they send you in there and they're like, draw it, but contour line, in the sense of like, draw it without looking at the paper, never pick up your pencil, like that whole thing, right? Different techniques. And I will say, I will go on the record right now and say that those classes did teach me things. I think they were very pivotal to the growth of my art over the course of time. I think that I could have gotten there without the classes, but I do think that they aided me significantly. I think that they were a significant learning point for me as an artist, just because I learned a lot. I learned a lot from them. Did I learn a lot from the professors? No. More the practice, right? More the practice of doing it. That the professors were fine, but they were horrible. How do I say this without sounding really dramatic? College killed my passion for art. The thing that college art professors drill into your head, from my experience, is this idea that you have to be better because there's so many artists going into the same field. There's so many people that you are competing with that you have to strive to be better every time. You are not like talented. You're not an individual because there are so many other people like you. And like, I'm proud of the work that I did in those classes. I'm proud of like the things I learned, but I was putting my everything into the homework for this class, into the assignments, that like I just kind of stopped drawing for fun. I didn't draw for fun anymore. I gave up entirely on the idea of drawing for fun. And it was really fucking sad and really depressing, but I was too scared by this point to fully change my major. So I changed my major to studio art. I had shown up to one too many art classes and stared at an old man's dick for far too long. I walked into one of those art classes one time with my homework assignment from the night before, which was to sit in front of a mirror and try to draw a part of your body and not pick up the pencil, contour line, don't look at your paper, just draw while you're staring at yourself. I'd come in, I thought I did pretty good, I was pretty proud of it. We're doing the round table, which is basically where you would get out your big giant canvas. I had to lug this thing 30 minutes across the campus, by the way. Giant ass fucking thing of giant paper, giant sketchbook. You get that out, you put it on the easel, you set it up, you flip it over, you flip to the page of your art that you drew the night before, and you have it out for the world to see, for the professor to see, for all your classmates to see, for your peers to take a glance at. Everyone gets their art out. We're all standing in a circle. We walk the circle. We're all looking at each other's stuff. Wow, wow. I get to this one piece. The professor gets to this one piece. We all as a collective get to this one piece done by this one girl in our class. It was a close-up of her legs spread in front of the mirror, her vagina. Which, like, artistically speaking, amazing, beautiful, right? Wow, excellent work, right? Not when my 40-year-old cis white man of a teacher stands there for 30 minutes talking about how good she did on this piece. Meanwhile, gets to everyone else and is like, C+. I think back to that and I'm like, that was not okay. Anyways, I switched to studio art and I think this is gonna be my holy grail. I'm like, this is perfect. I don't have to worry, because I found out all these other prerequisites that I had to do for animation that were just things I was not interested in. All these other things. I found out that it was gonna like take my degree like this much longer to do that. I found out that I was gonna have to audition. And I also found out that these portfolio reviews were based on these classes that you had taken over the course of your years of college, which meant that I would have to show projects that I did in my 3D art class my freshman year, when I had gotten and improved so significantly from freshman year to whatever, junior or senior year. And I said, okay, I'll do studio art so that I can just lock in. I take these courses for studio art and I don't have to worry about going into animation and taking 2 extra years to finish this degree. I will just do studio art. I take a break. I take a little break. Mind you, I'm still working in this amount of time. It was around this time too that I started moving into my first apartment, and I started really settling into things. I got Sherlock, and I was becoming more of my own person, more of my own adult, which is what honestly led me to the decision that I ultimately made, which was changing my major again. But before that, I stayed committed. I finished up the classes I needed to take. I finished up these like extra science classes I needed to take, these extra credit classes I needed to take. I was finishing up a lot of these prerequisites that I needed to actually just like get like my associates, essentially, like to finish these general education classes well and truly and fully. So I started trying to find online classes, and it was around that time that I told myself, okay, let's work on my minor. My minor is creative writing. Basically the entirety of the minor I was able to do online, which was so fulfilling because I did so many creative writing, script writing, fiction writing, nonfiction writing, poetry writing workshops. They were so fucking fun, like actually so fucking fun. And I finished my minor in like a year, which it potentially could have even taken me less than that if I wasn't also working at the same time. And that's when it kind of had me thinking, because I started looking into the art classes that I still needed to take, and I was sitting there and I realized how much my college experience with art made me hate art as a hobby, as like a passion. I took like some more time off, and I took some time to really think. Maybe I just don't want to do art. Can I get a fucking round of applause? Can I get a fucking round of applause for fucking that? Like, come on. I finally got there. All it took was quite some time off, a lot of struggling, and minoring in creative writing, because I took all these classes and I said, this is what it should feel like. I should want to be here. I should want to invest my time in the thing that I loved. I saw all these art classes on a list that I would need to take. Actually miserable. I don't want to do any of these courses. And I switched it. I switched it all on my own. I didn't even talk to a counselor. I went on the website. I switched my fucking major. From the beginning of when I could write to now, my dream has always been to write fucking books. That has been my dream. That's the ticket, boys. That was the ticket all along. I just didn't see it. No, I did see it. I was just too scared to change it. I took about a year and I finished up my entire degree. I figured out all my courses by myself. I signed up for them all by myself. I did everything online. I figured it all out alone. And I did it. And I fucking graduated, boys. I fucking graduated. And I graduated last year in May. I can stand here and say that I have a college degree, and I have my bachelor's degree in creative writing. And I did that. And I did that all by myself. That's the story. I don't know if I missed anything. I don't know if that was even easy to follow. If you drew the cow in the graduation cap, my guy, you better share. That's my little college story for you. I hope that whether you are in high school, whether you are in college, whether you are younger than that, oh God, I said fuck a lot in this video. Whether you are older than that, perhaps you've already graduated, congratulations. Follow your heart. Follow the things that you're passionate about, follow the things that you love, because if you don't, life is miserable. And life is already really fucking miserable without us needing to make it more miserable. That has been a Wednesdays with Jade, another Wednesdays with Jade, back in the swing of it. If you like this video, please give it a little thumbsies up, Comment below if you'd like to, if you're feeling opinionated and you'd like to share, comment below another topic that we could do for a Wednesdays with Jade. That is that. Thank you so much for listening. If you stuck through this entire video, you are a trooper. And if you drew that cow, please hit me up. I'd like to see him. That's my guy. And if you have any questions, you let me know, and I will be in those comments below. The sun officially went down in the span of time that I was yapping, so I think it's official that I yap too much. Bye. Peace. Have a great one.